indeed. Hello, world. What is up? Welcome to Build. I'm your host, Matt Forte, and we are here live at the Build Studio in New York City. Our next guest is the host of the hit Animal Planet series, My Cat from Hell. Now in its 10th season. 10th. This show goes far and wide across the U.S. to get up close and personal with all new families for some all-new stories. I'm super excited. Here to tell us all about it is the cat daddy himself, Mr. Jackson Galaxy's in the building. How about that, people? How we feel about Jackson Galaxy? He's a cool dude. We're going to bring him out in just a second. But before we do, I believe we have a look at the show. So let's go ahead and run that clip.
Let's start pushing it a little bit. Let's open the gate up. I want to be able to establish that challenge line with her.
I'm sorry, too fast, too fast.
So the second that you put your hand in there, you cross that barrier. Switch so that your back is up against this thing. Keep your hands at your side. I want you to be able to get a few treats near her. There you go.
Good girl.
So when you're in the room like this, she comes out? Because she wants out.
Usually she won't.
She won't?
Until I go and do something else.
What?
Like when my...
Put a treat right outside the cage. There you go.
She just likes to prove me wrong.
Yeah. One more. Keep your hands totally still right now. It's okay. Don't pause. Just drop it.
Does she get it?
I gotta see fluid movements. No hesitation. Okay, well, this is not a good start. I can see that Johnny is very hand shy. I mean, very hand shy. All you gotta do is move a finger and she's ready to strike out. Johnny is scared beyond belief and, as a result, aggressive. Do me a favor. Take your hands, put them flat on the floor like this.
Hey, Johnny. Come on. It's okay. Good girl, Johnny.
Well, that's pretty amazing, right?
I'm so surprised.
It's all about the hands. Just as I thought, if Mimi doesn't move her hands, then Johnny won't hurt her. Now that I've seen Mimi with Johnny, I would like to spend some time alone with her because if I'm right, Mimi's nerves are getting the best of her and causing a negative reaction. So if I put my hands out like this, now what if I come near you? You don't like that at all. Somebody had to have hit you. Let me introduce you to a hand that's not gonna hurt you, right? All the way in. Shh, it's okay. Good girl. Sleepy girl. Bam. My work with Johnny just proved my initial suspicion. She is a scared cat, not an aggressive cat, not a cat who's chemically imbalanced or anything like that. She is fully traumatized and living inside of this traumatic loop. And our job is now to prove to her that life can be exactly what it was for her at a certain point.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome, without question, the bravest man in this room, Mr. Jackson Galaxy. Oh, my goodness. Wow.
Yeah.
That's a heck of a clip. That
was fun, man.
That's fun. That is a lot of fun.
No, it's fun for me. You know, that scene?
Yeah.
2.5 hours.
My God.
That was 2.5 hours of sitting there with that cat. I mean, you know, you've got 45 minutes to make a show, but that was a long time.
Well, right. I'm still surprised 2.5 hours that you could even make progress. You have, I made a joke being brave, but also an infinite amount of patience, I would imagine, as someone
for cats.
I was going to say, who has made a name for himself communicating with and working with cats.
Yeah.
You must have a remarkable amount of patience.
You know what? Yeah, I do for cats. People, I got nothing. But I mean, I got plenty. I mean, when it comes to like dealing with a cat, like Johnny. I mean, Johnny had a rough life, a really terrible start. I mean, this part of the story that you guys don't see is that Johnny, they found Johnny in the home. Her guardian had passed. And for some reason, they had her in a cage in the house, right? She goes from a cage in the house, they take her to the shelter in another cage. Put her in a shelter. She's kicking everyone's ass left and right because she's scared. Then the foster parent takes her from the shelter in a cage to the house. Now it's all about the cage. And so getting her out of there got her past that trauma, you know.
You know, you need to know a lot of that backstory
Right.
in order to do the work that you got to do. I'm made of questions. I really want to get into this, but just first and foremost, man, congratulations, 10 seasons. How are you doing? How's Jackson Galaxy right now, man?
I'm doing great,
you gotta be
man.
doing great.
I'm
right?
a happy guy. I mean, we've worked with, 2 cases per show, 100 episodes, 200 families. We've done, this season we go to Philadelphia. We work with an entire community of feral cats, trying to get them taken care of. I mean, we've helped a lot of animals over 10 seasons, so I'm totally psyched.
I'm fascinated by an entire community of feral cats.
It was amazing. North Philly had, Philadelphia has over 500,000 cats on the street.
Wow.
And that's been a huge problem. So I have friends in the movement there trying to promote what's called TNR, trap, neuter, return. So we get feral cats, spay them, get them back out there.
Where they like tag the ears so you know?
They
like,
clip their ears,
clip their ears.
Right. And that way they've been trapped and you don't have to trap them again. And that's the only way we're ever going to control it. New York, LA, Philly, wherever. But the whole hour-long episode was hooking up with people there, trying to build the community a little bit around it, trying to get some young people involved in helping cats. And it's an amazing episode. I can't wait for it to come out there.
That's really exciting, man. Dude, before we even get any deeper, take me back for a second, Jackson. Why? How did this start, man?
Why? You're watching this. Why would you do that?
Why, before 10 seasons of television, before you're sitting there getting batted at like that, take me back to the beginning. What sparked this whole journey for you, dude?
I my whole life I was just a musician. That's not just, but that's what I did, And I was living in Boulder, Colorado at the time. I'm from here, but I moved to Boulder, and I was just trying to get jobs. I was broke, and I saw the ad for poop scooping at a shelter. I went in, I did that. Flash forward 2 weeks, all the cats are like all over me. And it was the weirdest thing because I was never a cat person. Yeah. But these are cats that if we don't help them now, they die tomorrow. So you figure it out, And
that's wild. So you walked in simply just making ends meet, and next thing you know, there's this connection. You were completely oblivious that you even had the ability to, and then you just grow over years because you're an cat behaviorist, but an animal behaviorist, and you didn't set out to be that.
Hell no.
No,
no, man. I want to be a rock star, man, and I wound up like the cat thing just took over.
Just happened.
And I'm so happy about that because we've been able to make a pretty big difference. The shelter movement as a whole has come so far. We don't, when I first started, I started out in '93. We were killing close to 20 million animals a year. 20 million. We're down now to under 1 million. That's in 20 years. We have done an amazing amount. And that's just through education. That's just spay-neuter education. That's just adoption. That's about like not going out there and buying animals. That's just very simple stuff.
Well, and that's amazing. That's set to go from 20 down to under 1 million. But I have to ask, where are those cats going now? I don't want them to be killed. I'm happy they're not being.
Well,
killed.
number one, they're not being born.
Yeah. Oh.
No, they're not being born. And we're not allowing our families and our friends and ourselves to continue to breed animals when we're killing other animals. It just doesn't make any sense. And we're all aware of the fact that animals should be adopted now. So we don't go out there and spend $1,000 on a poo, and instead we go out to the shelter down the street and we adopt. And just those two things have brought down the kill rate amazingly.
Wild.
Yeah.
Wild how heavy that impact that can have. Let me ask you, one of the things I first noticed a while ago when I caught your show was the patented guitar case filled with the cat toy accoutrement that you have.
Yeah.
One, was that a tough day for you when you took out the guitar and replaced it with as a musician at heart, as someone who just identified yourself as a musician?
Yeah.
When you made that transition,
No.
was that a tough thing for you to do?
It was totally. This was my job. I go to people's houses, I fix it, and my car was getting just filled with cat crap, and I just happened to have a broken case in the car and just threw the stuff in, and that was that. And everyone thinks it's a shtick. Yeah. After 10 seasons, everyone's like, oh, it's just a nice little gimmick that you do, and it literally that was just what I did.
This is out of necessity.
Yeah, that was it. They're
funny.
long toys, man. They don't fit anywhere else, Yeah.
I guess I never thought of it that way. That they wouldn't fit in a traditional case
That's
of some
it.
kind.
Yeah, that was the only reason. They're
And
like
I don't
fishing
see an
poles.
abundance of cat toy cases when I go to Petco.
Yeah, no, you know what the greatest thing is? The guys over at SBK, which are the biggest guitar case manufacturer in the world, the guys who run the place are huge cat guys. So they custom made cases for me that have like, smell proof compartments for like, fishy food and treats and stuff like that. The cat people are everywhere, man. It's amazing. The guys who run the Gibson Pro Shop, cat guys.
Cat people.
Man, got myself a Les Paul out of that one.
No, oh, there you go.
Just saying.
So that alone.
Yeah, no, that's worth 10 seasons right there.
10 seasons
Got myself a custom
right
shop
there.
guitar. Yeah.
That's pretty amazing, man. In the 10 seasons of doing it, in the lifetime of doing this show, have you been able to better identify? You yourself never thought of yourself as a cat person, but do you now see traits between cat people, dog people, I don't know, turtle people, whatever? Do you see anything like that? Like,
The thing is that, and I got a turtle, so watch it, man. But
by no means
I'm
speaking
just
negatively
saying.
of the turtle people community. I'm
Okay, just saying.
fervent supporter.
And the cats and the dogs. But that's my big thing is that we are all at heart bipetual, that we are like, there is no cat people, there is no dog people. I always think of that as being complete sort of self-protective bullshit. Like the idea that like, oh no, I hate cats. Now if you talk to somebody who hates cats, almost guaranteed that when they were like 2-3 years old, they got scratched or something happened. The rest of their life, that 2-year-old is making the calls and they're saying, no, the cats are bad. Same thing with people who had problems with dogs. They are so complementary. It's amazing. I cannot imagine spending my entire day doing this and not going home to a dog. Yeah. I love having dogs. I love when I go home and there's an animal who's like, I love you so much. And then you get on the bed and then the cat crawls on your chest, or if you're lucky, and then you get that energy. And I think that we owe it to ourselves. If anybody has animals and you think of yourself as a person or this person, explore the opposite.
Yeah. How many you got at home? What do you got?
Well,
Let's go through the list.
at the moment,
Yeah.
we have a little bump in our population because we have some foster cats at home. So we have 6 of our own cats. We also have a catio, like this open air sort of place, and we have a few ferals that live in the catio. So that's another 3. Then we have the mom and her 4 kittens. I'm losing count. Wow. 9, 10, 11, 12. 13. It does not make me a crazy cat lady, but because they're all going to get adopted. And then we have 3 dogs and the aforementioned turtle.
And the dogs, how do they feel about all the cats? Do they play with them? Do they snuggle with them?
Play with them.
Yeah, right. Well, you say, but we had baby cheetahs here a couple of weeks ago.
Did you really?
Yeah, we did. We had baby cheetah and a penguin.
That's so cool.
Oh,
okay.
We have a cool job. And it was
no doubt, man. No doubt. That's nice.
And the baby cheetahs, they were showing us on their show that they have Labrador retrievers that are like their best buds that they run around with.
Yeah.
And I was blown away by that. So
yeah.
It's not crazy for me to make the leap that maybe.
No, you're right. But my
environment.
Yeah, but my dogs, yeah. But I also have, the breeds of dogs that I have. Like I have a Chow mix, and she just has that sort of go get 'em type of thing, and I've got a hound mix, and he's got his thing, and with dogs, it depends on the breed a little bit. Totally. But that said, a lot of dogs can transcend that, but not mine. We still don't trust it all the way, and we're careful. But everyone, for the most part, everybody tolerates everybody. Yeah.
Last logistical question. As a pet owner, how many bags of cat food you guys going through over there, man?
You have no clue, man. And it's like, it's the litter. The cat litter, man, is expensive. Yeah, thank God for my cat from hell. I don't have any idea how I would afford all those bills, man.
That's wild. Yeah. We're getting close. We're going to do audience questions and all these fun things, but I do want to talk about this season. You get 10 seasons in, and how do you guys, you already talked about the feral cat population. How are you keeping it fresh? How are you doing things new and mixing it up in the 10th season?
Well, I listen, all credit to Animal Planet for allowing me to sort of push the boundaries over the 10 seasons. We spend as much time now with our cats from heaven as we do with the cats from hell. We go around the country just finding some great stories and just digging down into special stories about cats and people. So that's a lot of what the show is. We have both the Philly episode, which I'm really looking forward to. That's the finale of the season. And we have another one where we explore this program called Meow Mates. And Meow Mates is a prison program where the inmates are foster parents to dogs and cats. And these are hardcore dudes, man, in South Carolina penitentiary. And they are the most intense, amazing foster parents. And these animals and the humans both go through incredible transformations. So we do an hour episode on that. We're really getting down into the heart of what makes the animal-human bond so special. Yeah. And that coming from this all the way to that. So we've really pushed it out.
That's pretty amazing. I've never ceased to be like blown away by something like that, by seeing the transformation that just, especially with those types of programs. I've seen stuff like this before where an inmate or somebody that they get access to this animal and it transforms their entire life. I mean, you look at like Villalobos and what they do with pit bulls and parolees and how it transforms their lives. It's pretty crazy stuff. Are you yourself, this is a passion that you've grown over the years. Are you still learning? Are you still blown away by things? We kind of watch you in that scene there, sort of figure things out. Yeah. And getting that cat out of the cage, are you still picking up stuff as you go?
Of course. And you know what, though? To me, the thing that really keeps me going is the relationship, is the human-animal relationship. I mean, when a guy on a prison yard comes up to you and he's watching this dog that he's training go through an agility course, and he says, I've been in this place since I was 17. The guy's 45 years old. Been in here since I was 17, and when they introduced me to this dog was the first time I've ever known what love was. Yeah, and then suddenly I'm just like bawling all over this hardcore inmate, man. I'm just like crying like a baby. Those kind of moments I just live for, because the only future that animals have depend on us stepping out of our comfort zone and saving them. And look, the only way we're going to get to the point where we get from this 1 million point to no animals being killed is for us to step outside that comfort zone a little bit. So every time I see proof of that, proof that we are made of something bigger than what we think we are, I go do more. It's a thrilling thing, you know.
Yeah. Is it ever? I don't want to be negative in the scope of this question, but it just feels like such a big problem to solve, and you're making such a huge dent. But are you ever daunted or overwhelmed or frustrated by, like, for all the work that you are doing, it's still so hard to see an end in sight to where we've solved the problem? Like, it's one of those things where you know you're just going to keep working and doing the best you can. Is that a hard thing to reconcile?
There are times, for sure, but I am just like the king of the silver lining. Listen. I couldn't be in the animal rescue world for 25 years without having some kind of, like, you know, eye on the Emerald City. Right. You know what I mean? And I do. I think that by the time, you know, if there was like a 7-year-old kid in here, by the time they're our age, they're going to be like, you did what? You know what I mean? Like, you killed animals? Why did you do that? You know, and, well, because they didn't have homes. That's ridiculous. You know what I mean? In our lifetime, we're going to see that. We're going to see that.
That's a pretty exciting thought, man. I'm watching the clock wind down. I'm running out of time. I got so many questions here, and I do want to get to the audience. But I had one. You probably get this all the time. Forgive me if it's stupid, but can I get a definitive answer? What is catnip?
Catnip?
Just what is it? And what does it do?
It is.
And why is it in every cartoon and movie and TV show that I've ever watched?
Think about it in terms of everything. Think about it in terms of, like, you know, like weed and acid and booze, all kind of like that, because it works on everything. Hot damn, let's go, man. It's catnip time.
We just sell this.
Yeah. Yeah, we do. Yeah, but the thing is, it only works on cats, and it only works on about 70% of cats. There's a lot of cats, but it's really funny that it also works like booze in this way. In my experience, anyway, you're a happy drunk or you're a mean drunk. Right. You know what I'm saying? You're like the "I love you, man" drunk, or you're like in the parking lot, you know, picking that fight drunk. You know, and cats come in that flavor too.
So where do you fall in the catnip camp? Because it's so it could go either way. Is it a useful thing? Do you shy away from it? Do you encourage?
It's a great question.
It's a great treat. Like, what is it, good or bad?
Yeah, no. I mean, I design a full line of products that I sell now, and every catnip toy has a catnip-free variety. Cool. And I make something called a marinator, where it's a marinator so that you can take catnip and marinate your favorite toys. So if your cat is a happy drunk, Go ahead. Drink on, man. Yeah, but if they're a mean drunk, that you cannot give them that. It's one of those things that we definitely shouldn't take for granted.
It's amazing. All right, and the last one, you've dropped 2 amazing ones in the middle of this interview. You gave us Perpetual, and you put the cats out on the catio. Do you ever just brainstorm some puns to throw out there?
Man,
are you finding them along the way?
I have
what's
an
happening up
entire dictionary, man. My new book has like the Cat Daddy dictionary in it. Yeah. I don't do it on purpose. It just things come out funny, and then they stick, you know, like the cat superhighway, you know.
That's pretty amazing, man. Well, you're such a. First of all, thank you so much for being here, man.
Oh, my
We're
pleasure.
gonna do the audience questions. I'm super excited that you came through. It's really cool to meet you and have you on the show. Saturdays on Animal Planet, My Cat from Hell.
Saturdays at 8 o'clock.
What's the new book? What's the name of the book?
It's called
book?
Total Cat Mojo: The Ultimate Guide to Life with Your Cat.
Fantastic. And Catnip for all. Let's get some questions from people in the room. We got some microphones out there. Looks like first one's back here.
Hi, I'm wondering what was the greatest challenge you've had with a cat?
The greatest challenge I've had with a cat was we had a cat named Lux who it was about the 5th or 6th season, and if you might have heard about him, they called him the 911 cat. That there was this 911 call from Portland, Oregon, where the guy was like, my cat has us trapped in the bathroom. It's me and my wife and my kids. And I don't know if any of you guys remember the story, but it was crazy. And you could hear the cat in the background of this call screaming. And they sent me up there. And who the hell else are you going to call, man?
Hey,
right?
Jackson, what are you doing? What are you doing Saturday?
You're not going to call the dog guy. Yeah, no, so I went up there, and we actually filmed it, and it was a nightmare. He was messed up. I mean, I have my theories about why he was messed up, but I wound up having to take him away from that family. I put him in a foster home. He beat the hell out of them, took him out of the foster home, took him someplace else. I was working with that cat for a year and a half easy. And you know, I mean, he's a beautiful, lovely boy, but he'll never be like a lap cat if you value your lap. But yeah, no, he was wonderful, but it was a real... every time I would get a text from his foster parent, I'd like start cold sweating because like who'd he send to the hospital this time, you know? But.
That's wild. Now that's interesting because, and we were talking about this backstage. There's a cat, I believe, this season, Posey, right?
Yeah, Posey.
Yeah. And you reach a point that I've never seen you reach before on this show.
Yeah.
But you're saying in your head, this particular one, the 911
No,
cat.
you know what? You're right. You're right. No, I mean, because this is fresh paint. This just happened. You know what I mean? No, Posey was, but here's the thing. It wasn't Posey herself. Yeah. I mean, Posey was if you didn't, it was part of the premiere last week that Posey was a very violent cat, and her guardian was 9 months pregnant. First baby, you know, she's a young mom, and her whole family's saying, you got to get rid of the cat. And the cat draws blood like crazy. She's really violent. It's crazy. But she was really ill as well, you know. But the thing was, that after that first day of working with this couple, I'm up against it. This girl is about to give birth, and the cat is totally not okay. And no one's going to... I can't rehome this cat. No one's going to take this cat. And so I had a complete nervous breakdown on camera. Yeah.
It's pretty wild. And you do kind of touch base, like you talk through it in that moment of like, have you dealt with violent cats? For sure. Have you dealt with cats with pregnant women? Totally. You've done these things before, but this is everything at once. You've got this deadline, and it just hits you, man.
And you know what? And I said it. By the way, it wasn't something that was staged. My producers had to hunt me down. I went like 3 blocks away and just started crying. But the reason I was crying also was because like you saw with Johnny, I don't have fear. Yeah. But when you have fear, you're done with cats. You're done, you know? And I thought that in that moment, I was like, am I done with this? Should I just hang it up and go?
With the whole thing or just with Posey? Were you
the whole thing.
Everything?
Everything.
Wow.
Yeah. It was just in that
That's
moment.
Why that moment's so heavy. Wow.
Right, exactly.
Crazy. Yeah. What do we got, Randy? 2 more? We got 2 more. We're going to do 2 more questions. Next one's right here.
Hi.
Hi.
So first, congratulations on 10 seasons of the show.
Thank
That's
you.
an amazing milestone. My question is, obviously you've had 10 amazing seasons of the show. Where do you see it going in the future? And do you see there potentially being any spin-offs with any other household pets or anything like that?
Well, if there is, I won't be doing it. I mean, listen, I love my dogs, but they run roughshod over me, man. I don't have that thing, you know. My specialty is cats. That said, I think that, if My Cat from Hell keeps going, it's going to keep morphing. We're going to keep exploring what I do in the rest of my life, which is, shelter work and also exploring that bond, like I was saying. If it doesn't continue, then I see myself going there anyway, which is just stories, just going out there and discovering what makes the bond between us such a big thing. And I can't wait to do either one. Yeah, it's going to be great.
Thank you for that. We got one more. We're going to do one more question, and it's right here all the way in the back.
So I was wondering, in all your time working with cats, what is your favorite cat name you've ever heard?
My favorite cat, I think that my favorite cat name was Darkness, because because it gave me that chance to go to the family and go, listen. There was another one from last season. They called him, his name had become Bastard, Little Bastard. And it's like, and you're wondering why that cat's pissing in your shoes and beating you up. You named him Bastard or Darkness. No, Darkness was great because in the show, I got to go through that whole thing like, let's rename your cat, And I think he became Jedi, He went from Darkness to Jedi, which I thought was appropriate. Yeah.
Cat's name was Bastard?
Yeah.
Is it a little like Lil Bastard or just Bastard?
No, that would have been nicer. This was just like her whole family, and they were from Long Island, so it was always like...
Perfect.
No, because, I'm always saying that because of the accent, because they were just like, oh, where's Bastard?
Yeah, exactly.
Where's Bastard at?
His name wasn't Bastard, it was Bastard.
Oh, there's Bastard.
Bastard.
And his name was like Mittens or something like that, and it was like, no, he's not Mittens, he's Bastard. Yeah.
You thought they were just... Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
We're out of time. We're going to wrap things up, but I'll say it again. My Cat from Hell, Saturdays on Animal Planet, 10th season's unbelievable. Congratulations. Everybody, please make some noise. Join me in thanking Mr. Jackson Galaxy for being here. Thank you, sir.
Thank you,
It was
man.
wonderful. Thank you so much.